What's going on, Minecraft fans? My name's TheNotable, and in this video, we're going to be finding out how strong I am. You may have seen my video where I survived to 2,000 days in hardcore Minecraft, and I promise I will get to 3,000 days. Also, if at any point during this video you think that there's something that could kill me in Minecraft on my main camp, make sure to comment that down below. I want to hear your suggestions. If you think you know something that can kill me, let me know in the comment section below. And lastly, if you want to see more cool stuff like this, I'm chock full of ideas. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss them. Hit that sub button. I'd really appreciate it. I'm nowhere near 5 million subscribers, but maybe if you all subscribe, we could get there. But I pretty much made myself unkillable in 2,000 days, and today we're going to be testing that theory. So we probably need to start and talk about what makes me so strong in my 2,000 days playthrough. Well, first we'll have to look at my armor. It's very good. I have really good armor. Full netherite, protection 4, thorns 3, basically the best armor in the game. My sword is also fantastic. Netherite, sharpness 5, sweeping edge, I can't be stopped. My Minecraft base also makes me very strong. There's multiple elements to this thing that make me pretty much unkillable on it. First, you have 2 sets of walls so nothing can get in, and the area inside of those walls is lit up perfectly so nothing can spawn inside either. I also have a 100 by 100 square of perfect sextuple beacon coverage, and you'll see how OP that is later. So in this video, we're going to be fighting a lot of things on my main camp to see what it would take to actually kill me here, and I don't think many things will. And I just want to state before we get too far into this is all on a copy. None of this is real. I didn't risk the 2,000 days world to make this video. So the first thing I did was set up a spawner in the 4 corners of my inner wall. I'll be filling these with spawn eggs and basically cramming the compound to the brim with all types of different enemies. The redstone on it's pretty primitive, but you know, it works, so you really can't hate on me. And this was the first fight I tried just to pretty much test the machine. It's 128 zombies. That's a lot of zombies, but I think I can take them. Now keep in mind, 128 zombies is not something that could naturally happen in Minecraft. Maybe if you had like a zombie spawner that was filled to the brim and they all escaped. But for the most part, you're never really going to see 128 zombies in one place. It didn't lag too much, and I had no problem taking them all out, and that was pretty expected. So then, of course, like any logical person, I would crank it up to 768 zombies. That's 3 stacks of spawn eggs per spawner. It lagged me pretty bad, but it was still playable, and I didn't really come close to dying. For a while, I let the mosh pit sort of just have at me, and I took a good bit of damage, but nothing that I couldn't out-heal. Remember, with my beacon powers, I'm very strong. It took almost 10 minutes to take them all down, but I kind of expected that. It's a lot of zombies, and no, they never came close to killing me. So the next move was obviously to fill all of the spawners to the brim, and this would produce 2,304 zombies. Now this was supremely laggy. I had no idea if my computer was even gonna make it through this. I mean, you can see it's pretty much a slideshow. Now fortunately, that was kind of to my benefit. I'm not exactly sure how Minecraft works when it gets super laggy like this, but it didn't seem like all of the zombies could hit me at the same time. The game just couldn't register it. So I think if anything, 2,000 zombies was a little less deadly than 700 zombies. Nevertheless, I didn't really think that would be a problem for me, and of course, I killed all 2,000 zombies. I do want you to keep in mind when you watch the rest of this video that, like, if this ever happened, if there were ever 2,000 zombies on my camp, I probably wouldn't fight them. I would probably stay behind my walls. Or run away. I'm not going to risk my hardcore world to try to take on 2,000 zombies. This video is just for fun. So after killing 2,000 zombies, I tried 1,000 skeletons, 1,024 to be exact. I thought maybe with all of those bows and arrows shooting at me, I'd take a lot of damage and it would really start to rack up quick, and I thought maybe I'd die here. But that wasn't really the case, as the skeleton's arrows couldn't really touch me through my armor and beacon resistance effects. And because the horde of skeletons started shooting each other, they all started fighting amongst themselves, so most of the kills weren't actually done by me. Yeah, it took me like 5 minutes to kill all of the skeletons, mostly because they killed themselves. I didn't bother killing 2,000 skeletons because I figured that effect would just get compounded. And something very similar happened with creepers. I started with 512 because I figured all those creepers definitely would kill me, right? They do so much damage, they explode. Well, no. You see, when you have 500 creepers on the battlefield, when one explodes, 15 or so creepers die. And the explosions don't exactly work together. If one explodes, he kills the others instantly, and those others don't get to explode. So even though I was fighting 500 creepers here, it kind of felt like I was fighting 50. So when I bumped the number up to 2,304 creepers, yeah, it was pretty much the same. They all kind of just killed themselves. It was very laggy, but not as laggy as the zombies, interestingly. One regular creeper explosion isn't enough to kill me on my main camp, and with all of the ways I can heal and with my beacon powers, it's just not going to be enough. The arachnophobes might not like this one, but I also fought 2,304 spiders, a mix of cave spiders and regular spiders. Now here I thought I could definitely die because the poison of the cave spiders might compound with the spider bites of the spiders. But again, They didn't even come close. Regular old cave spider poison gets offset by my beacon powers like regeneration, and especially if I start eating my golden carrots and golden apples, they just don't do enough damage to do anything to me. And a regular spider bite, even 2,000 of them, just doesn't do enough damage to poke through my armor. I fought 2,000 spiders and pretty much stayed at full health the entire time. It's just kind of crazy to think about when I was making this video, actually recording this. I just thought every single time, every fight, I thought, well, this will definitely kill me. There's no way I'll live this. And then I just exceeded it with flying colors. So now we've kind of done the basic mobs, the zombie, creeper, skeleton, spider, the things that you're going to find in any normal Minecraft world. Again, none of this is normal. You're never going to have 2,000 spiders ever without some sort of cheat. But just to prove that I can kind of handle an unlimited amount of the normal mobs in Minecraft, I did that first, just to show you how strong I am. Here I tried 2,000 Endermen, and that was a weird fight for sure. First off, they're Endermen, so they only really fight you when you look at them or hit them. So if we're speaking truthfully, if this ever happened on my main camp, I would just not look at the Endermen. Run away, wait till morning, and they all disappear. But this is a video for entertainment purposes, so of course I fought the Endermen, and they hit pretty hard. Yeah, in the mosh pit of the Enderman, I was taking quite a lot of damage. I was able to heal through most of it, and I never really got close to dying, but they definitely gave me a run for my money. But, you gotta remember, at the end of the day, these are Endermen, and all I have to do to not die is put a block over my head. Even 2,000 Endermen can't hit me if there's a block over my head. Part of my main compound is the walls, the alcoves, all of the places I can hide. And if 2,000 Endermen spawned on my main camp for whatever reason, I would handle it. Here's another just completely unnatural and downright disgusting thing. We got 2,000 slimes. Again, another thing, like everything else in this video, that could never possibly happen in Minecraft. But I'm gonna try to kill them. Similar to the zombies, it got pretty laggy, so I think 2,000 slimes was just too many. Even though they were totally mosh pitting me, I didn't really get too much damage for how many slimes were around me. Maybe I would have had a harder time with 500 or 1,000 slimes. I think the 2,000, just the lag just hurt me there. Or I should say hurt the slimes, because it probably made it a little easier for me to survive. They just couldn't do enough damage. I do so much damage myself. And once you slash them down to their lower counterparts, the slimes don't do any damage in their littlest forms, so it wasn't really that tough. Took a while. This one definitely took a while because of all of the little slimes that spawn, but still, I was fine. In fact, I found the best strategy for taking out a massive amount of slimes like this is just digging a little hole so your sweeping edge effect hits all of them. It's just the most efficient way to kill all the babies. I definitely thought this one would kill me. I don't know why I thought that, but I thought it would kill me. And that's 2,000 phantoms. It was pretty much constant phantom screeches and attacks the entire time, but again, they just couldn't do enough damage all at once to take me out. You gotta remember, on my main camp, I have resistance, I have regeneration, so I'm constantly healing, and I take 40% less damage. Even though there's 2,000 of them, what that means is they just can't touch me at the end of the day. And when I have sweeping edge, the thorns armor, I just output too much damage for these guys. It doesn't matter what they do to me, they just can't touch me. Even though there were 2,000 phantoms, they're just not individually strong enough to take me out. I kind of thought I would die though, for sure. With 2,000 phantoms, I thought that might add up to be enough, but it wasn't. Now this is probably my favorite, and we're gonna do 2,000 ghasts. I didn't think 2,000 ghasts would kill me, because they're just ghasts. You can slash them with a sword, you can shoot them with a bow. It wasn't gonna be a problem, but it was pretty funny. I mean, the sound was just horrendous. Yeah, and similar to the skeletons, they kind of all just killed each other, so even though there were lots of ghasts, they were shooting each other in the back of the head, and it just ended up being better for me. It was kind of fun flying around my main camp like an AC-130, taking them out with my bow and elytra, though. That was a definite cool moment. I don't know how you would get 2,000 ghasts to spawn in the overworld, but even if it did, even if you could make that happen, I'd be fine. Now this one was definitely the laggiest, not the most difficult, but definitely the most laggiest, and that was 2,000 witches. Now I had already done the spiders, so I knew that poison wasn't going to be enough to kill me. Maybe with their potions of harming, if they kind of comboed it up right, they could get me. But yeah, the witches, they pretty much did nothing. It was kind of tough killing them all, I will say. Witches can use potions of healing. They can also use potions of fire resistance, so the fire aspect of my sword wasn't really doing much to them, and they were able to heal. So even if I did slash one with Sweeping Edge, it would generally heal itself. And with all of the lag, it made it pretty tough to get these guys down. And even though I thought I wouldn't die, they did get fairly close to popping a totem of mine. I didn't actually have to pop the totem, but they did get fairly close to getting me to low health. So hey, maybe if 2,000 witches spawned on my camp, I might have to run away. I probably wouldn't fight them head on like the zombies or the creepers. So like I said, the witches kept healing and they were really, really laggy, so I was having trouble actually getting them all to die. So I had the great idea of blowing them all up with TNT, so I went over to my nearby creeper farm and got some TNT. And by the time I got back, they all despawned. So I won, kind of. I didn't physically kill them, but they died at the end of the day. I mean, if we're speaking realistically, literally any of these fights, I could just run away or wait till day, and all of the things would either despawn or burn up in the sunlight. So, I'm literally unkillable. You can't stop me. You can't. Now we're gonna have some fun with some command blocks. This is kind of the first time I ever used command blocks, and they're pretty fun. Here we're trying what I'm calling the Diamond Horde. I'm not sure exactly how many creatures we have here, but it's a mix of zombies and skeletons, all with diamond armor. What do you want me to say? It really wasn't that much tougher. Like, really? They just had more health. Sometimes they could do more damage, but I move so quick, I do so much damage, and I resist so much damage on my main camp. Again, it wasn't that tough. It really wasn't. None of this would ever happen in a normal Minecraft world, but that is definitely something that would never, ever happen in a normal Minecraft world. And still, I handled it. And looking at the command block stuff, of course, you know, I had to spawn an Ender Dragon, though I will say the Ender Dragon doesn't exactly work if you spawn it in the overworld. It does. You can get it to spawn, but it's not exactly super aggressive towards players, and eventually it'll just beeline towards 0-0. It made a pretty cool looking hole and kind of flew around 0-0, but didn't really do much damage to me at all. I think it did hit me a couple times, but the Ender Dragon's supposed to be fought in the end, and in the overworld, it's really not that tough. So even though here I didn't technically have my beacon powers and wasn't technically on my main camp, I really had no problem taking out the Ender Dragon. It was fun. It was a very cool moment to see the Ender Dragon spawning on my main camp. That was interesting. I know it happened with cheats, but still, you know, I had a little enjoyment out of that. I also fought what I'm gonna call infinite bees. So what I did is I set up some command blocks to spawn bees, and you can't technically spawn infinite bees, but whenever I would kill bees, more bees would spawn. So I essentially just had a horde of, you know, thousands of bees attacking me at any one time. And yeah, that was totally fine. Their poison does almost nothing, and when a bee stings you, it dies. And even with my sword, they're pretty much a one hit. So yeah, the infinite bees, I think that was a fan-suggested thing. I think a lot of people thought infinite bees would kill me, but infinite bees did not kill me. Really great footage though. Like that's something right there. That is one to remember. Infinite bees. Even if there were infinite bees on my main camp, I could survive. I would. I'd be fine. I also tried fighting a dog army. This is about 1,000 dogs. I used command blocks to spawn them, so I don't have an exact number here. But I figured, you know, dog armies can be quite powerful. They're very good at taking out raids. And if you have untamed wolves, they will all attack you at the same time, kind of like bees. And while they definitely had some good combos on me when they were all attacking me, they got some fairly good damage up. The dogs just really don't have that much health at the end of the day, so if I really wanted to, I could slash them all to bits very, very easily. Not to mention the fact that, like, literally, and I've said this a couple times, I could just hide behind my walls. I could fly away. I could go to max height in my space elevator and just fly to L-Town. Like, I don't have to fight these things, but I do. I've said this a couple times, but I really thought the dog army would kill me or at least do a little more damage, and I don't think I ever got near even 75% HP. I mean, they really did almost nothing to me on my main camp. Now, I did try to fight 500 piglin brutes, and I gotta say, at first, it kind of looked like they were gonna give me a run for my money. They were doing quite a lot of damage. They also have good health, so it wasn't like I could just one-hit them. I basically had to backpedal and run for my life, pretty much, against these piglin brutes. However, because they are piglin brutes in the overworld, eventually, they turned into zombified hoglins? Not zombie pigmen. Whatever, what you see on screen. They weren't piglin brutes anymore. And at that point, they still did a lot of damage, but it wasn't enough to take me out, and they're pretty easy to get around. Again, one of my beacon powers is speed, so I can outrun pretty much everything. If I backpedal, I'm backpedaling at, like, sprinting speed, basically, so I'm always sprinting in every direction. And pretty much the entire fight, I backpedaled and slashed, and that got me through. I gotta say though, I think if they stayed Piglin Brutes, I might have died, maybe? But they didn't, so we'll never really know. I also fought about 100 iron golems. I'm not sure on the exact number because I used command blocks to spawn them, but I set up this little thing here where basically I have a makeshift village, and I killed the villagers, and then the iron golems would aggro me. Oh yeah, the iron golems definitely gave me a run for my money, even just 100 of them. Iron golems are pretty strong. Almost immediately, I got comboed pretty hard, and even popped a totem. Had to hide behind my wall just to keep myself from dying. They have a lot of health. They do a lot of damage, even with all of my beacon powers, all of my enchantments. Yeah, these guys were definitely going to kill me if I fought them head on. But remember, at the end of the day, they're iron golems. So all I have to do is build up 3 blocks, and they literally cannot touch me. I just sat up here, killed them all. It was easy. You might say that I cheesed that one, but if 100 iron golems attacked you, would you fight them all head on, or would you build up? You'd probably build up. After that, I had an absolute craving for pain, so I spawned 128 evokers. Yes. Only 128 because I definitely thought they would kill me. I didn't want to go straight to 500 right away and just get clapped, so 128 we're going to start with. It wasn't the evokers I was worried about, it was the Vex. And I figured with all of those evokers, it was just going to be an absolute swarm of Vex, and I was going to have so much trouble surviving. And while the evokers definitely were pretty good, they were shooting spells at me and all that, it seems like there's a cap on just how many Vex can spawn from evokers. I'm not sure what that number is, but to be honest, the Vex didn't seem any more numerous than they are in a general level 6 raid. There was definitely more evoker magic. The evoker magic was all over the place. But the Vex, yeah, I didn't really see any difference there. There really wasn't that many. And I think all of the evokers actually worked against the Vex because as soon as I took out an evoker, all the Vex would kind of de-aggro me. So I'm not sure exactly how that AI works, but it definitely isn't supposed to work with 128 of them. So I did win this fight. How about 128 ravagers? You think I can take that out? That's kind of like the iron golems, where you definitely don't want to fight them head on. Oh yeah, definitely like the iron golems. If I were to just jump into the mosh pit with all 128 ravagers, I would be dead fairly quickly. But I'm not just gonna go do that. Like, I'm not dumb. I'm not gonna jump into a pit of ravagers. I do outrun them, I do jump higher than them, and my walls are able to contain them. So I used that strategy. It took a while, yeah, it definitely took a while to kill all the ravagers this way, but I still killed them. If 128 ravagers spawned on my main camp, which would never happen, I've said that so many times, it would never happen. But if it did, I would be okay. You just gotta remember that the point of this video is to show how strong I am on my main camp. All of these things would never happen in Minecraft, but I can still handle them because I've built my main camp to be that way. Yeah, the emeralds are pretty, but I built it in a way that makes me very hard to kill, and in a hardcore Minecraft playthrough, that's what I was going for. And you can see, I took out 128 ravagers. What else is there? How about 100 charged creepers? Yeah, 100! So yeah, kind of like the first time I fought creepers, when one would explode, all of the others would explode, and then their explosions would be canceled out. So even though it was 100 charged creepers, it was really only like I was fighting more like 10 or 20. Because one would explode and just blow all the other creepers up, so it really wasn't like I was having 100 explosions happening at the same time. That being said, they are charged creepers. Even on my camp, they do a lot more damage than your average creeper. I did pop a totem because one blew up right next to me. They didn't kill me, but they probably could have if they got a good combo. If one blew up, popped my totem, and then I fell in a hole and another one was down there and blew up, I could easily die. But I didn't. You might be sitting there and thinking, there's gotta be something that kills him in this video. There's gotta be something! So let's try 3 withers. Now how the wither AI works is they don't exactly go after you right away just because you spawned them. You kind of have to attack them first. And I was fairly certain that the 3 withers would definitely kill me if they were all on me at the same time, so I was smart with this fight and only took out 1 at a time. And on my main camp, against 3 separate withers at 3 separate times, you probably aren't surprised that I made it out okay. The land was pretty destroyed. Like, there's a bunch of holes, and that would take a very long time to fill up. But I was fine at the end of the day. Not that much damage, it's fixable. So then I fought 10 withers, all at once, together, in a big wither ball. Now, what was tough about this fight is in the first phase of the wither fight, you have to use your bow. They're up high, you can't slash them with your sword. And in the big wither ball, I would only be able to hit one or 2 times before he'd go back into the wither ball, and then I'd be shooting at another, and because the wither heals, it was pretty tough to actually do damage to any one single wither. Where I started to get in trouble is where my armor started to break. My helmet broke first because they're hitting me on the top of the head. So yeah, I ran away, went to my storage room, grabbed some diamonds, and made myself some new armor. After that, I kind of figured that I couldn't take them out all in a wither ball, but kind of like when I fought the 3 withers, I took them out separately. But at the end of the day, I spawned 10 withers on my main compound and killed every single one. Now here you really gotta believe me. I fought 100 withers on my main camp. I lost the footage though, and it was like a 2-hour fight. It took a very long time. They were all around the camp, in the air, in the animals, in the monster farm, underground by bedrock. They were everywhere. But I did it. I could do it again. But I'll be honest, I just don't want to. I'm sorry. You go fight 100 withers. Yeah, you do it. You gotta believe me, 100 withers. I killed them all on my camp. I just don't have the footage. It's corrupted. It's gone. I don't know what happened. The only thing I have is this screenshot, which I posted on the community page of my YouTube channel. It's the only evidence I have of 100 withers, and you can see it's even more devastated than the 10 withers. You just gotta believe me. The fight was pretty much like the 10 wither fight, where I kind of just fought every wither individually, but 100 instead of 10. So you can basically get the idea. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me take out some absolutely insane fights on my main compound, and hopefully now you know how strong Luke the Notable is. Yeah, I look pretty good. No double chin. Yeah. Remember, 3,000 days is definitely coming soon, so hit the like button if you're hyped for that. Also, let me know down in the comments if you want me to build anything in 3,000 days. Let me see your ideas. I've definitely already taken my compound to pretty insane heights, but if you want to see something, if you want me to build it, let me know down in the comments section below. Also, yeah, please subscribe, because 3,000 days is coming. You don't want to miss it. Hit that sub button. I'd appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. Please, stay notable, and I'll see you in the next video.